Journeys, the American Dream introduces you to 4 successful Asian American business owners. Join us as they share their extraordinary journey, the challenges they overcame, and the many ways they are giving back. Andrew Lee bought Sugar Bowl Bakery with his 4 brothers in 1984. After years of hard work and determination, his company now distributes their delicious baked goods all over the world, including at popular grocery stores and wholesale stores nationwide. Our journey with Andrew begins with a bit of flour and butter.
My role is the president and CEO of Sugar Bowl Bakery, and this is one of the plants that we have in Hayworth. The other plants, we bought that in 2006, and this one here is a manufacturing plant that we bought in 2007. At the time we bought the Sugar Bowl Bakery, it was only a donut and coffee shop. It was about $300 sales a day back in San Francisco, and it was only a very small coffee shop. So we grew from there, grew to 2 divisions. We bought a couple of buildings that we opened up. Many retail stores. At the time, my intention was Starbucks with food, but it was too tough for me to manage retail stores, many stores at the same time. So we changed our business philosophy. So we made most of the products that we sell to hospitalities. Like at one time, we had 20 trucks on the road. We sold to majority of the coffee shops, hotels, hospitals in the Bay Area. So you can see our products are very high quality products. We take a lot of pride to make our products. These are basically in the market for thousands of years, but nobody knows how to make the products that we make, because our products have about more than 300 layers, and it's 100% butter. We are actually, people told us that we are the number 2 butter user in Northern California. We cut the dough like that, and then we put it into a pizza, and then we have to take a lot of process before we bake it off. And our product is so crispy that nobody else has that kind of product. The recipes either for me or I work with the team to create the recipes and make these products. The other plants that we make mostly by hand. We make the jams, donut jams, the apple fritters, and one product called black and white, so half and half. And then those products I involved in trying to make these high quality products. People say marketing can open the door, but quality can keep the door open. And so you and I go to a market to buy products, and we look at that product, so beautiful. The first time we want to try it because it looks so beautiful. But if you and I go and specifically look for that product to buy, then it has to be a quality. We came here, underrepresented, and we know how difficult it is. And at the time, I tried to get help. I didn't know where to go, how to do it. So I'm on the board of Asian Pacific Funds that we raise money, and then we give to 90 community-based organizations in the Bay Area. That's to help the Asians. Our Asians are doing wonderfully well, but the other side, people don't know that we are also doing very poorly. A lot of people, a lot of children are homeless and nobody knows about it. A lot of disadvantaged women who engage in bad relationships and getting abusive relationship, they don't know how to get out and tell people about it. They don't know how to get help. And there are so many children want to go to a good school. They don't have the money to go to. And so, these are a great thing for not only for Asians, but if we help the Asians to be stronger and healthier, they can assimilate into a mainstream and make the countries a lot better and stronger. So that's our goal. Well, my greatest professional achievement is, number one, I can take a very good care of my family. I can take a good care of the communities. I can involve in communities, and I can also work with my nephews and nieces. So the second generations and the people who work around us and them are so engaged in making the company better and better. So that's, I think, I feel very rewarded. Probably I could start a little earlier if I can. Our time is limited. And so I can focus and scale a little earlier. So at this time of my career, maybe I am a lot more successful than I am now. So success is a journey, it's not a destination. We always want to make sure that every day we come to work, we make sure that we improve every day. That's the way we want to do, and we want to start early and focus early. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Start early, focus, and scale. And focus in what you love, and do what you love. And, love what you do, and so you can do it a lot more successful early in life. And sometimes, if we waste time, we cannot get it back. So time is very, very precious, and then if you become successful, you want to involve in community.
Up next, we learn how Andrew's journey began. Sugar Bowl Bakery's story begins long before the Lee brothers started making donuts in a coffee shop in San Francisco.
Back in 1975, when the government in South Vietnam fell to communist, so we tried to escape. I fell 3 times. I didn't get caught, but it was horrible. And the 4th time, I organized a boat with a friends to escape Vietnam. So it took us 7 days and 6 nights on the Pacific Ocean with a small boat to Malaysia. When I got off the airplane, it was so cold. The city was so bright at night. The bridge was so long, and the buses are so tall, and the people are so diverse. So that's my memory in the United States. We came here as very, very poor. Did not even have a penny to call, a dime to call my brothers who came here earlier, a few months earlier than me and my parents. So very poor. So we did a lot of art jobs. I was doing some construction work with my friends, and then the janitorial work with my brothers to go and do some janitorial work for big buildings. And I worked in work studies, trying to make a living. Back in 1984, we saved some money. My sister-in-laws did a lot of work like seamstress. Right? They saved some money, so we pooled together some money, and then there was a small coffee shop called Sugar Bowl Bakery on Balboa Street back in 1984 in San Francisco. Was for sale because the couple couldn't manage it. So it was a small donut shop, but we bought that one for $40,000 together, and so that's how we started our Sugar Bowl Bakery. When we first bought Sugar Bowl Bakery, our intention was to make a good living. And my goal at the time was to take care of a family to make a good living. And we have 5 brothers, work together, and so many young generations. So we want to provide them with a good education. So we try to make that, and then my goal was, I have 4 sister-in-laws. So I want to make sure that, okay, one sister-in-law manage one Sugar Bowl Bakery. And so for a different location for different sister-in-law. So that's why it was Starbucks with food, to make sure that, you know, everybody can work separately but as a family. So, but we did not anticipate that Sugar Bowl would become this big. In Vietnam, I quit school at the age of 13. I read a lot of books. You know, my passion at the time, I was reading books. So my dad biked 2 miles, a few miles away from home to buy books and newspaper for me to read. So my education's merely reading books. And no, I did not study English before I came here. I came here, did not speak the English, did not speak English, did not have any money. One thing about me is, you know, I have a sense of humor. I'm easy to work with. I'm very tough doing business. I'm tough enough to engage in a fight, to make sure that, you know, we stand firm on principle. Okay, there's a saying that in the style you want to swim with the current, but in principle you want to stand firm. Okay, stand firm like a rock. So I'm very firm in that, but I'm very fun to work with because I like to make a little joke here and there. I like to encourage people to do what they do best, and I tend to forgive people when they make mistakes. I believe that everybody makes mistakes. As long as you don't repeat it, as long as you put time, effort into making things work, and you make mistakes, it's okay. You know, as long as that is not a major mistake. And if you engage in a major decisions, you have to consult with others. So we can be successful together, and we can fail together, and that is what we call teamwork.
Next up, we discover what it takes to succeed in the international business world with Margaret Wong. Margaret Wong is the president of McWong International Incorporated, a leader in the design and manufacturing of high-quality lighting control equipment. With offices and facilities in China and the US, Margaret works hard to connect East and West. Journey with us as Margaret recalls how it all started.
Well, I was born in Hong Kong, and I graduated from Hong Kong University. And I believe that the week I got graduated, I came to the United States in 1974. And I came here and lived in Chicago for 10 years. And then I moved to Sacramento in 1984. Well, when I first came to the United States, I was working for someone, you know, a management consulting firm for 10 years in Chicago. And I learned a lot. I started as being a bookkeeper and ended up became the controller, the vice president of the company. And I actually, you know, was going for the sun when I first thinking about moving to California, because living in Chicago for 10 years, you know, coming from a tropical country in Hong Kong, you can imagine how much I was looking forward to have more heat. My first memory is a lot of open space. It's a lot of space and a lot less people, and the air really gave me a very good memory of when you start coming to this part of the country and smelling the air. Living in Hong Kong is very crowded. It is a metropolitan city, so obviously there's a lot of people. But it's very exciting in Hong Kong. You know, here is just much more spacious. When I first come to the U.S., and the challenges, language is one, and trying to catch up with the culture is another thing that when we're back home, you know, our parents always say that you have to be very humble. You just don't want it to show off yourself too much. And when I first started to do, you know, have my job in Chicago, I learned that you can't be too humble. You really have to let people know how good you know. And there are many times that I was trying to not tell people what I know and what kind of work that I can do, and I think I got disadvantaged. So there are times that I learned that you really have to be more open, more aggressive. And humble may not be the right word, but you just have to be more, telling other people that what you're capable of doing, and in order to be able to maximize, your capabilities. Well, I think that you can imagine in 1984 that I already have the passion of doing something with Asia. And I think that at that time, I consider myself coming from Asia, knowing the culture of Asia, that maybe perhaps I should be able to do business with Asia. And you'll be surprised that at that time that I was so homesick that I was hoping that if I do business in Asia, that I could be able to go home more often. So I really wanted to go back to Hong Kong so badly. And at that time, besides that, I really think that there are, opportunities that doing business with China, and I've seen some emerging potential in there, that I've encountered some opportunities that really triggered myself to quit my full-time job and really get into a business that I can be able to build my business, and win or lose is all about myself, how I'm going to control it, what I'm going to do. I have the vision that China business is going to grow. But certainly the business we're in is all about industrial product, electrical, electronic, industrial type of product. And at that time, I have a partner that when I first started the business, and he is an engineer, electrical engineer. So I was more focused on the business side, and he was more focused on the technical side. Because he was an electrical engineer, so we were able to start, the business focusing more on the electrical products. I enjoy being a business owner because I can dictate what I want. I can go as aggressive as I want it to be. I can build something. I can create something. I'm a person that I don't take no for nothing. I don't have to go through a lot of red tape, a lot of the bureaucrats. If I want to do something, I just go do it. And I will make it happen, and I feel the joy of the bottom line. That's what an entrepreneur for. And, the excitement of being, successfully launch a deal or close a deal is amazing. And that's what I like to be. The more people say that this is not possible, the more I want to go get it. When I have a family and trying to own a business and being a woman, and it's not easy. It's not easy that I have to build my career. I have to raise 2 children, and I have to keep a family and having a husband. At the same time, that is a challenge. There's so much surprises over your life when you're trying to build your business, and you came with all kinds of family situation that you just have to deal with it. The China trade has a journey. I never regret one day that I had dedicated my passion in doing China trade. I think if I can look back and wanted to do something differently, is I wish I could be more focused in what I am doing in China trade, and perhaps not having a family but focus on the trade, or having a family but not having the business. The biggest challenge in my life is trying to balance it. And it's very tough, and it's not easy. But I think that my children are grown now, and I'm very lucky, turn out to be great children. but there are some sacrifices. Sacrifices on my part, sacrifices on the family, that you need to reconcile it. I mean, sometimes that you wish you could be only do one, but not both. But some people say you're lucky you have both. So. I think I'm active in the community primarily for three reasons. Reason number one, I love to network with people. I just believe in networking with people. Is not only you get the connections, the contact, you never know where they come from. It's just that I like to learn from different people so that it kind of enrich myself a better skill when I do my business. So I really like to work with people because different type of people with different group, they're all different, the way how they think, the way how they act. And secondly, I think that I enjoy working with the community primarily because I believe that, and I have strong passion between U.S. and China relations. And if you see that a lot of my community work is basically, based on that principle, because I see there's so much differences between, U.S. and China that, it's only through friendship, through a lot of the community work that build relationships, then it will help both parties to understand each other better and be able to hopefully in the future be able to do business with each other better. I would strongly advise any business entrepreneur to be very decisive. And once you're being decisive, you have confidence. Confidence is so important. Sometimes you may think that you make a wrong decision, a right decision, but if you have a confidence of what you're doing, and of course that you have to be persistent. I am very persistent, and when I wanted to go for getting something, you just have to work hard and to go get it. So I still think that hard working, and then being confident and persistent, and of course working smart is something that's come from experience. It's not something that you become smart the next day. So, and I think that especially people who want to get involved with the China trade, you just need to be more understanding of, I would say just China trade, any of the international trade. That people have to be more understanding of what the other country, other people think, do, what do they do, how do they think, rather than just put ourselves and then making them think like us. We have to make ourselves think like them, then you're a winner.
Up next, we discover a Japanese family's pursuit of the American dream and all the challenges they face that led to the Mikuni Japanese restaurant and sushi bar. The Arai family is in the midst of celebrating the 25th anniversary of their restaurant, Mikuni Japanese Restaurant and Sushi Bar. With 8 locations, they are busy serving up creative and delicious Japanese dishes. We join the family at the original location in Fair Oaks as they share the journey that started it all, back in April of 1985 in foggy San Francisco, California.
Everything was big. I'm so used to small street, small people, small, portion of food and everything. And when I came here, at first hamburger was so big, freeway was so, wide. I just couldn't believe how everything was big here in America. Going to American school, different culture, people are totally different. I had a culture shock the first 3-4 years or so.
My first memory was hamburger that I ate. It was a big hamburger.
My first memory is at the airport, and the people are so friendly. But actually, the little boy helped us to load in our luggages, and he was standing with the hands open. We didn't know what it is, so we waved and left. And later on, I realized he was asking for tips. And then that was like shocking to me. They were not just friendly, but they're also asking for money. They did for money.
その頃は車がアメリカの車ばかりですし、大きい、道路も大きい、人も背が高くて知ってはいましたけど、見上げるような大きな人、横も縦も、それには驚きました。
はい、私のファミリーはみんな日本では窮屈に感じてたようです。だからもっと自由に好きなことができるアメリカだったら行きたいとみんな言いました。こちらの日本人の教会の牧師として招かれたから来ました。
I came because I didn't fit in Japan. I want to be different. I like freedom. So I had a hard time adjusting in Japan. So when I was 11, I started doing the newspaper route and raised money to come here. And then my parents and my family wanted to come here too. So I ended up paying for their airplane tickets and everything to come over here.
いや、教会の給料だけでは生活できないから、レストランをしようと思ったんです。他に仕事をしたことがないし、ただ私の奥さんが料理が上手だから。
主人が牧師をしているので、教会のいろんな伝道の奉仕やら、教会に来る方々の接待、ほとんど食事作りが多かったんですけど、人のお世話をしました。
I mean, I was, of course, first, dishwasher, pan washing, kitchen, and everything. And one day, he said, let's open the sushi bar. So I asked him, I never made it before. He said, well, good luck, pretty much. So I bought the book and just learned from the book and tried to do my way. That's how I started the sushi bar. I used to see him working till 2 in the morning, and then by the time I wake up 7:30, he's already here working. So he didn't tell me back then, but I know he was crying and praying every night just to survive every day.
楽しみとか何にもなかった。
He said there's no such a fun in business.
そして
But I'm different than him.
休みもなかった。
And he never had a day off. Yeah, we never had a day off first. At least 5 years of business. When I was 19, of course, I had the hardest time. But after that, I felt like I retired from my job. So I'm living American dream. So it's totally different. So I'll answer for him first. It's he struggled. I see it, and that's why my first goal is to make him retire. So that's good.
もうここで働いてる時はそういうものは全くありませんでした。でもリタイアしてゆっくりして、この豊かさと、幸せで、今はもう本当に喜んでいます。でも働いてる時はそういうものは全くなかったんです。そして絵を描いたり字を書いたりゴルフしたり、そしてもう毎月旅行しています。
They travel somewhere in the United States. People always ask me, when are you retiring? I always tell them, what's my retirement? So if I retire, I'll be at the sushi bar eating with customer, drinking with customer, and make sushi for my friends. So I think since I had a hardest time at age 19. That's when I lost weight, pressure, stressed out, had ulcer and everything. That's the time. Actually he told me too, but you just do your best and go do the rest. That kind of relieved my stress and everything. That's the day I decided, I'm gonna just have fun from here on. So, I don't know, I think I'm living my retirement. So, how can I not like my job? Yeah. Because I'm living in a dream. So that's why my new title is CDO Chief Dreaming Officer. So I'm going to keep dreaming with him and expand the restaurant, and I'm going to enjoy every moment of my life.
I enjoy most at Mikuni is being very friendly to customer. I enjoy most and be creative. You know, since my dad's pastor, he said serving to God is almost same as serving to people. So I always feel like I have to serve to customer.
I enjoy being, part of owner of this business because we get to meet a lot of new people and good people too, through the business, and it was wonderful. My struggles was, of course, language and betrayal maybe in a business, that people just take advantages of us because of our language and knowledge, and that was very difficult. It was just difficult because you have to be here from morning to night, and I did not attend high school graduation, no dances, and I just always was in a restaurant. And yes, that was the struggles that I had.
My struggle in US first time was communication. Language barriers was a big thing.
まあ言葉が通じないっていうことは第一ですけど、経済的にすごく貧しい生活しましたので、特に子どもたちの教育費もないし、食べ物にもちょっと事欠く時がありましたから、ちょっと苦労しました。
コミュニティがビジネスを助けてくれるから、当然還元していく必要があると思います。
First thing I learned was it's not what you know but who you know, and then because of knowing these customers helped me, this community to help us to, went through all the hard time and sufferings, and we almost didn't make it, but now we're here. So I believe, least I can do is to give back to God and give back to the community. So, as you know, we have a golf tournament, our 17th annual, and we just raised $1 million for breast cancer. And even tsunami too, when tsunami had happened in March, and we made a rescue roll. So we tried to raise money back to that, help Japan. And then our goal is to sell 1,000 rolls in 2 weeks, but we end up selling for 4,000 rolls. So I just can't, thank enough to the community for their support and love for restaurant too.
Up next, we discover the story behind one of Sacramento's oldest restaurant families. After years in the restaurant business, Chinese immigrant Frank Fat opened the family's first restaurant in 1939, a few blocks from the California state capitol. With its popularity among the business elite and politicians alike, Frank Fat stands today as an icon of downtown Sacramento. Frank's daughter-in-law Lena joined the family business in 1974 when she was named the head corporate chef. She joins us at that infamous first location, Frank Fat's at 806 L Street, to share her family's history and the secret to their success.
It was my father-in-law, Frank Fat, who started the first restaurant. This Frank Fat right here in 1939. That was the year my husband was born. And so then after that, of course, Frank Fat was successful after it was opened. And later on, my father-in-law had a piece of property in Old Sacramento. And Ken and I, we were married, before we graduated from UC Med Center in San Francisco. He was in dentistry, doctor of dentistry, and I was in doctor of pharmacy. And so he decided to move back over here. So we moved back to Sacramento and worked as a pharmacist for maybe like 3 years. And then my father-in-law decided to open a restaurant in Old Sacramento. That's the property he bought. Thinking that it would be good to open a restaurant to commemorate the Chinese immigrants coming to California and to Sacramento. And my father-in-law said, oh, well, we didn't know what we're going to do with it, so maybe we just sell the property back. That night I was sleeping right in the middle of the night, and I just thought about it. I said, that is a very good concept. It's a very good piece of land. I don't think they should give it up. So I was thinking about all the recipes that people are asking us, and so I tried to wake up my husband and told him what I was thinking. He said, oh, you go back to sleep. So the next day I was very persistent, so I talked to my sister-in-law, Chi. I said, what do you think of this? I said, this is something that, I was an immigrant. I came from Hong Kong. But I said, we're using what is available in this area and just use the spices, the Chinese spices, and marinate it and cook the American style, So this is something, really about immigrants, how they cook the food, in here. So Tom came back and headed the project and talking to the architect, and I work in the food side and experiment with all the recipes and make sure it's down pat. And so the whole family has to agree. So it was not a easy task. Everybody has their own taste. So, but it was a very fun time, and we did that. And when the restaurant almost opened, and so Wayne was assigning everybody to do certain job, and when it came to me, he said, okay, you're in charge of the kitchen. And that was it. I said, well, I'm a pharmacist. I've never worked in a kitchen, restaurant kitchen before, but good thing, being a pharmacist, I learned quite a bit, and using, I did a lot of inventory during the summer when I was still in school for a big manufacturing company. So I know about the inventory, I know about the ins and outs and purchase and all that. And then, of course, I know all about the health issue, storage issue, temperature, and all that. That really very, very helpful. The organization part was very, very helpful to me. So, so I took the challenge. I said, oh, it's okay, I can do that. As it turned out, it was worse. Going from pharmacy into restaurant business, in restaurant business especially, in the kitchen like that, I thought I was, working like, twice as much and got 1/3 of what I supposed to be paying. But, but I enjoy it. That's the main thing. That's why I always told my children, I said, it's not, money is important, but it's not the ultimate thing. You really should find out is what you really like to do and enjoy doing. And so that you say that, okay, I'm not going to work. I really enjoy going over there. It's not saying, oh, I have to go to work again. And that's not very good. If you say that, oh, that's great, I'm going to work, like that, then your life is happy and everybody else around you will be happy. When you hire a chef, you really cannot, completely control what they're supposed to be doing, because you're supposed to let them, be creative. So sometimes they do wonderful things, and then sometimes, if it's not right, we talk about it. So fortunately, so far I have a lot of chefs who are very open-minded, and so they understand, what is right and what is not, and what is creative. And I have some really good chefs gave some fantastic, innovative ideas. So I enjoyed that part. But yes, I did lose, the total control when I was as a chef. So all the cooks, they were at least 40-something, 50-something. So they were like my, almost like my father or like my elder brothers or something like that. So, and so it was not easy, especially for a woman in the kitchen, because before we even opened, I went to Hong Kong and studied under a Chinese master chef, and I couldn't go into the restaurant to study because they wouldn't allow any woman in the kitchen. At that time anyway, I don't know about now, but at that time they wouldn't allow any women, because they said, well, sometimes they have to take off the shirts and all that. They don't want any women to be around. So that's why I went to the master chef and took private lesson, which was good. Shortcut the time a lot, So, so when we opened, and I used all my Western training of making a recipe book with pictures, and also state, what they're supposed to do, when they come to work. before the meal time, what they're supposed to be responsible during the meal time, and what they're supposed to be cleaning up after that. And so each one, I give them a little book with the pictures and all that, and they look at me and they thought, you know, I am supposed to be from Mars or something, or Venus or something. It's not on Earth, because no Chinese restaurant, and you know, did that or do that right now. I don't think they do that either. You know, the chef usually show them how to do it, and they right away they do it. Nobody really follow really recipe like that, except, you know, from their eye. They learn it from show and tell, and you know, from their experience. So right now we open Fast Asia Bistros, you know, and that's very good too. It's a you know, it's 80% Chinese and 20%, you know, other Asian country. And I think that all the Asian, the food in the Asian country, they may be different. There's some similarity. They have different flavors, but I think it's a nice blend together, and I like that very much. And of course, you know, I still like the Fast City concept. The Fast City concept right now, we're doing it like traditional American regional now. I try to find things original to bring it in. Like for example, when I first came from Hong Kong, you know, I went to pre-pharmacy school in Nashville, Tennessee. And so, you know, I mean, there was a great change in Nashville from United States and from Hong Kong at that time anyway. And it was, I learned, you know, a lot of things. I learned how to eat okra, learned how to the Southern fried chicken. Now I like the country fried steak, you know, the ribeye steak, not just any steak, but ribeye steak is my favorite, because it has, a lot of people don't like it because they say it's too much fat or something like that. But you know, if you want to eat steak, you want to have enough marbling to give the flavor. And otherwise, you know, why should I eat, you know, I don't want to eat a piece of, you know, dry meat, you know. So, you know, I enjoy that ribeye steak, so I put it out there, and I enjoyed it very much. They didn't know that when I was in my, 16 or something like that, I tried to drive a Harley Davidson. I was also in a bicycle team that we race bike, and I did the bike tricks on the bike, you know, and a lot of people didn't know. But like I said, I like adventures. I like innovation. I like all this, and I like to try different things. But I do like most of the things I do like in the warm weather things, because coming from Hong Kong, I like the warm weather. I learned skiing too, but it's not my favorite because it's so cold.
To many around the world, a new life in the United States signifies countless opportunities. The American dream is the pursuit of those opportunities and the hope that success and happiness will result from those endeavors. These four entrepreneurs and their families demonstrate the potential behind that dream. They prove the power of hard work and determination, and the importance of facilitating the next generation of American dreamers.
You know, if you want a tennis match, I can play tennis. I'm a tennis fan, okay? And I love to play tennis, but I play double. And anybody can ask me to go.
Because when I fly, I just cannot connect with anything. My BlackBerry doesn't work, my phone doesn't work, and I am totally relaxed. Didn't realize that when I come back to the office and go home, I'm always doing something. But when I'm locked with a seatbelt, I can't do anything.
私はロールが大好きです。
He loves rolls, any kind of roll. For me, I like more sashimi, just straight fish, because you know I grew up fishing with him, and whatever we catch, we just slice it up and eat it. So every time I eat sashimi, a slice of fish, I remember my youth and you know.
刺身です。
Yuzu ceviche.
I was trying to be a movie star there. So I was going to school there for music, singing, dancing, so it could be different.
You know, I came from Hong Kong. I have my Chinese accent. I have my British accent because I went to British school, you know, to learn English in high school. And I came over here in the South, you know, with the Southerners, and I don't know what I was doing. I said, I'm all mixed up, you know, but, you know, that's okay as long as people can understand me, I guess.